This is Extra Paycheck Podcast, episode number 86.
You're listening to Extra Paycheck Podcast, where you will learn how to build and grow your own successful online business. Now, here's your host, Alex Soul.
Welcome to yet another episode of the Extra Paycheck Podcast. This is episode number 86, and in today's episode, I will be sharing with you 10 things that every blogger must do. And don't get me wrong, if you aren't simply a blogger, if you're building your own brand online, or if you're working with a company where you're helping them with their website or the blog, those things are crucial in any of those cases. And this is why you should be listening to this podcast episode carefully and writing down notes, actually, because the things I'm about to share will help you get more views to your blog or to your website. It will help you get more sales as the end result, and it'll just be overall beneficial for your online business. So let's get straight into it. The very first thing you have to do is make sure your on-site SEO, search engine optimization, is on point. There are a lot of different things you could do, and you could go back to episode number 84 of the Extra Paycheck Podcast, where I'm talking all about SEO and the important parts of it. But my biggest suggestion when it comes to on-site SEO would be installing the Yoast plugin, WordPress SEO by Yoast. I think it's called the proper name of the plugin. It's a free plugin with the premium version. I'm using the free version. And what this plugin does, it helps you optimize every single post on your blog for SEO, for better rankings. And, when I create my blog posts, I usually don't pay attention too much to things like on-site SEO because I think I kind of got everything covered. I've been doing that for years. However, after installing the Yoast plugin, I noticed that there's so many things that I could improve on my on-site SEO. And this plugin has been truly helpful in getting better rankings and simply offering a better experience to my website readers, to my blog readers. So check it out. If you don't have it installed on your WordPress, install it right away. The second thing that you must do for your blog is sign up with Google Analytics as well as Google Search Console. Those two services are once again completely free, and they will offer you a lot of insights into your website. You'll be able to see where your traffic is coming from. This will help you understand where you're lacking work, where you should put more effort in, and it will help you realize some of the things that you haven't been really understanding with your website. So those two tools are really helpful to get your website to the next level, to help your blog. And the Google Search Console is also great because if there are any problems with your website, if Google has issued a penalty against your website for whatever reason, or if Google thinks that your website could be hacked or something of that sort, they will drop you in rankings, which is really bad, which basically means your website will not be visible by anyone. And if you're using this service, the Search Console, you'll be able to diagnose these problems right away, and you will be able to solve them because, once again, I mentioned it's a manual penalty that Google took against your website for unnatural backlinks or whatever the case may be. Google will tell you, look, we are giving your website a strike because of this and that. In that case, you will be able to see what the problem is, resolve it, and ask Google for reconsideration. So a very important service. I hope you will never have to use that part of the service, but if something bad ever happens, you will have an idea of what's going on exactly, which will help you resolve the issues a lot faster than if you wouldn't be using this service. Optimizing social media sharing. This is something that's often overlooked. I'm not sure why, but a lot of bloggers kind of miss out on the point of letting your readers share your content easily. The easiest way to go about it is using either a theme or a plugin with social buttons and having them pretty much everywhere you can on your content. For example, on my websites, I try to have a sharing bar on the left hand side of the website as well as at the very bottom of every article, every piece of content that I create on my website. So if somebody reads it or listens to my podcast and they like it, a simple click of a button allows them to share it on their favorite social media. In my case, I'm using Facebook, Twitter, Google+, LinkedIn, but there's a little button which when you click, it opens up a whole list of different social media platforms and people could just share that easily. If you are using this kind of a theme or a plugin for your blog, make sure it also works on mobile, because it could work on the desktop, but it wouldn't work on mobile, and that will force you to leave out on some of the opportunities. A little while ago, I wrote a blog post about 32 entrepreneur books that everyone must read in 2016, and at some point, I reached out to Pat Flynn, someone who is really known in the industry of blogging and online marketing, and I told him about this post since one of his books was included in that list. And although I didn't expect Pat Flynn to get back to me, he did. And he told me, yes, I already saw your post. I wanted to share it on Twitter, but I couldn't find the share button, so I didn't. This is when I realized that the plugin that I'm using had the share buttons disabled on mobile devices. That's been going on for like a year or two and I guess I missed out some of those opportunities, but I now have it enabled for mobile devices as well. So that's something you should pay attention to. As I already mentioned, it's often overlooked, but it's an important piece of the puzzle when it comes to your blog and when it comes to social media sharing. You should also look into growth hacking and automation, especially when it comes to, once again, social media sharing for your blog or your website. If you haven't already, you should go check out episode number 67 of this podcast, which I did with my friend Ambrose. And it's all about growth hacking. It's all about automation when it comes to social media sharing and stuff like that. Also, you should check out his blog, which I will be linking to in the show notes for this episode. And he's been sharing some really, really cool stuff that I've been using for my own blog. For instance, whenever I post something new on my blog, it gets reposted on Medium as well. And he shares some tips on how to share your content properly on LinkedIn and how to automate most of this process, which could save you loads of time and it will help you to be everywhere all the time. And exposure at something that's very important for your online brand. Another tip that I would like to share here is pay attention to what kind of theme you are using for your blog. It has to be a responsive theme. It has to be a theme that adapts to any kind of a screen, that works well on desktops, that works well on tablets, that works well on smartphones, and all the devices across the board, because mobile is becoming more and more important. In 2016, it was the very first time where traffic from mobile devices outgrown the traffic coming from desktop devices. So this is happening, and you have to make sure that your website, your theme is responsive and works flawlessly on every single platform out there, on every single device. Now, chances are you might have to use a paid theme, because paid themes are usually really well developed and they are being updated all the time to make sure they fit the new standards, to make sure they work on every device. And I'm using Divi by Elegant Themes. These guys are working really, really hard to make sure that their theme is great and works everywhere. Yes, I know you might be tempted by using a free theme, but I would highly suggest investing a few dollars in a paid theme, and this could make a big difference for your website. As many other tips that I mentioned before, it's not only about Google ranking your website, which it will be easier to get higher rankings on mobile phones, let's say, if your website is optimized for mobile phones. But it's not just that. It's also goes for your reader, for your website visitor, because this is the most important thing. If your website visitor cannot see your website properly, if they not click on things properly because your theme is not responsive, then they are going to leave your website and never come again. So make sure that your theme works great everywhere. This will help your readers and this will help Google as well to rank you better. Another suggestion that I have would be making your website simple and streamlined. Now, I know that when we're starting a new blog or a new website and especially if you haven't been doing it for a while, you want to give all the information to your reader. You want to fill up the sidebar and you want to give them, you want to put some banners in there, and you want to try to show all of your content, all of your pages, all of your links everywhere. But that's just not good anymore. This causes confusion. And when people come to a website and they aren't sure where to go, where to click, where they should concentrate, chances are they will click that back button and just move on to a different website. Now, I always try to keep my website as simple as possible with as little distractions as possible. My sidebar, for example, is not the same for every single page on my site. I have 4 or 5 different variations of the sidebar, and I only showcase things that I think would be more relevant in a certain page or a certain case. And some of my pages don't even have a sidebar at all, because I want 100% of my readers' attention to be concentrated on the content of that page. This is why I don't even have a sidebar on some of the pages. Now, whenever I do have a sidebar, I don't put any banners for different reasons. First of all, because banner links are pretty much useless. People don't click on banners anymore. They understand their banners, and well, chances are they will not click on your ads. If they do click on those ads, you might make a penny or maybe 2 cents, so it's not worth it. The images that I have on my site, they're kind of banners. They look like banners. They aren't banners. They're taking people anywhere else but within my website. If people click on them, they will just be taken to another page, another resource on my own blog. And this is good for many reasons. One of them being that it increases the reader retention on my website. It decreases the bounce rate, which is really good for rankings once again. And Google sees that people click on your links within your website and they spend more time within your website, which means that they like your website. And this kind of helps you getting better rankings. Another thing for not using banner ads is that more and more people are using services like ad blocker, which basically means that they will simply not see a banner on your website. They would just see an empty space in your sidebar, which doesn't make your website look good. So pay more attention to how your website looks. Remember that less is more. Don't give too much information. Don't give too many options to your readers. Showcase whatever is the most important and the most relevant to that specific page. This is what your readers want to see, so keep it simple. If you haven't started building an email list from your blog, you are already behind because email marketing is still very, very huge and very, very important part of your business. Building an email list allows you to contact the people interested in your content at any time with any kind of offer or any kind of information or more content, or you could simply update them on what's going on with your blog and with your life and just have them come back to your website. So this is very important. It could be started for free, and if you want automation in your email building, then it'll cost you $10, $20 per month. It's really cheap and it's really, really worth it. Now, if you head over to episode number 83 of the Extra Paycheck podcast, that whole episode was dedicated to email marketing. I give out a lot of tips and a lot of information on that. So if you missed that episode, please do go check it out and start building your email list right away. This will be super helpful in the long term. Another crucial piece of advice that I give out all the time and to everyone is you have to be consistent with your content. There are also a few reasons for it. If you start posting 1 post per week on your blog, a new post every single week, you start getting readers who will like your blog and they will start following you and they will be waiting for that content. They would even maybe sign up to your RSS feed or to your email list just because they want to be updated with what you're doing and they want to keep reading your posts. Now imagine that you stop posting for a month or 2 months. Chances are these people will forget about you. They may come to your website a few times for updates, for new posts, and they would notice that you haven't posted anything for a long while, and they will just assume that you are not working on that blog anymore, that you're not keeping it live, you don't really care about it. and they wouldn't care about it either. They will not come back to your website probably. So this is one of the reasons you have to be consistent. Pick a schedule and stick to it. If you decide to post once a week, well, stick with it and post every single week, preferably on the same day of the week. If you want to post less, post less. If you want to post more, but be consistent. This consistency also helps Google, once again, ranking your website, because Google expects you to have new content put out at a certain interval of time. So Google uses bots and crawlers that come to your website and they check for updates, and they update the search engine rankings, they update information about your website online, and so on. Now, if these crawlers, they notice that you are posting once a week, they will start coming once a week to your blog, maybe more often, maybe a few times a week. They will check out your content and try to categorize everything properly and maybe give you a boost in rankings. Now, if you don't post consistently, Google's bots will come to your website less and less often, because they will realize the website is not really active and it's not worth their time, or I'm not sure how that works. I just know that they scan your website a lot less if you aren't consistent in what you're posting. And because you're being consistent and these bots keep coming and scanning your website, Google also realizes that your website is very active. And this, once again, will give you a boost in rankings, because unlike many other websites in your niche who are posting once a month and then twice a year and then twice every week for a few weeks and then they stop again for 3 months, Google doesn't like that. They prefer someone who's consistent and who kind of promises new, fresh content every single week or every single day or whatever that is. They also like to know when exactly you're updating, and this is where consistency comes in, and this is where it really counts. Last but not least, marketing your content. Simply putting out content there, no matter how good, and hoping that it does well, will not do anything for you. There are so many blogs these days. There is so much content being published every single minute, every single second probably, that it's so easy to get lost in that content. And people just wouldn't hear about your content unless you tell them about it. So whenever you post a great piece of content, you must spend even more time promoting it and marketing it. This could be as simple as sharing on social media, as we mentioned at the beginning of this episode, but that's not enough anymore. You have to think creatively how to share that even more. You might have to run some Facebook ads for your content if it's really great content. You might even have to reach out to other bloggers who are blogging in the same niche as you and tell them about that content, ask them to share it, or offer to do some kind of collaboration where you share their content, they share yours. But simply writing amazing content is not good anymore. You have to market it, you have to promote it, and you have to get people to it. So that's about it for today's episode. I hope you found it helpful. If you have any questions or comments, if I wasn't clear on something, or if you would like to add some ideas, please head over to extrapodcast.com/86. This is where I will be putting up show notes page for today's episode, and this is where you will be able to get in touch with me through the comments. Also head over to extrapodcast.com/iTunes in order to subscribe to the show. Please do leave a rating and a review. This will help the show tremendously. Thank you so much once again for tuning in, and I'll talk to you next Monday.